Hello friends, so let's now look at types of inflation. We have creeping inflation, that is inflation when the inflation rate is 3% and below. And then we have walking inflation when it is between 3% and 10%. Then we have the galloping inflation if it is between 10% and 50%. But if it is 50% and above, it's called hyperinflation. Now, who is hurt during inflation? When a country is experiencing inflation, who is hurt? Is it profitable? Is it unprofitable? If it is profitable, who enjoys? If it is not profitable, who is hurt? First of all, people on fixed incomes are hurt during inflation, and lenders or creditors are also hurt during inflation. We will explain why. So the fixed income receivers are those whose income is fixed over time. So monthly they receive the same money, the amount of money, or yearly they receive the same amount of money. For such people, they find that their real income, that is their purchasing power, what their money can buy, falls when inflation rises, because prices are going up. The money they receive is their nominal income. What it can buy or what the money can do is the real income. So when prices are high, it means your purchasing power will go down. So by that, they are hurt by inflation. What about lenders? Lenders such as banks and credit card companies lend money to earn a profit. Now, if you lend money out and there is inflation, inflation reduces the value of the money. So the borrower, when he is paying back, he might pay the same nominal amount, but what the money could have been used to do, what the money was able to buy at first cannot buy now. So by that, you have lost. So for banks, for credit card companies to earn a profit, the interest they charge must cover all costs and be higher than the rate of inflation for them to escape the negative effects of inflation. Okay, so when lenders lend money, they have an expected rate of inflation at the time of the loan. So that expected rate of inflation is based on current rate of inflation plus a guess amount, a guess figure of inflation, a guess increase in the future. So with this, if they are able to guess right about the inflation, they will earn a profit because they will increase the interest rate to a point where to a rate that is more than the inflation and even more than every cost involved. So at the end, they will make profit. However, if they guess wrong, if they guess that inflation will be too low, so they charge a very low interest and inflation is high, they will lose money. So as I mentioned, for lenders, the nominal interest rate is the observed interest rate. The interest rate that you go to a bank, the bank mentions, that is the nominal interest rate. But real interest rate is nominal interest rate minus rate of inflation. That gives us clearly when inflation is subtracted from the nominal interest rate, what is left. Right. So if inflation is less than the nominal interest rate, lenders will always earn profit because their real interest rate will be positive. However, if inflation is greater than the nominal interest rate, lenders will suffer a loss. Are there any winners during inflation? Not everyone loses with low and moderate rates of inflation. People whose income is flexible are able to win. Their income is flexible, like those who sell goods and services. When there is price increase, it earns them more profit. So they tend to be earning more. Their income changes with price. So these people win. And also borrowers or debtors, they win in the sense that when they borrowed, inflation was down. So they were able to use the money to buy things at a very cheap price. By the time they are going to pay back, They are supposed to pay back the same money they borrowed with some interest, but the purchasing power of the money would have um, would have gone. The purchasing power of the money would have decreased, or what the money could buy at first cannot buy now. So the lenders will lose and the borrowers will gain. Borrowers win because the real value of their loan payments, of their loan repayment, decreases at the same rate as inflation rises. So if their incomes rise as well, they are double winners. You borrowed money and you're able to use it to buy things at a very cheap price. When you are paying back, prices of goods and services have gone up, but you have bought your goods already. So the lender has lost and you have gained. But if you also experience an increase in your income, then you are a double winner. That is for the borrowers. Now let's look at some few calculations on how to calculate inflation. Suppose the lender made a loan with 7.0% interest and the inflation was 3.1%. Has the lender gained? Has the lender gained? Can you think through and tell? Another is, suppose a lender made a loan with 4.75% interest and inflation was 5.1%. Has the lender gained? So let's look at the first one. This is the interest, very high, and inflation is low. So the lender has gained because the interest comes to the lender. This one, the interest is lesser than the inflation. So for this, the lender will lose. Right. You can try this also. Suppose you invested in a bank CD that paid 4.75% interest and the inflation was 3.1%. Have you gained? Have you gained? This is the interest you'll be receiving from the bank. This is inflation. You have gained, yes. Suppose you invested in a bank CD that paid 4.75% interest and the inflation was 5.1%. Have you gained? No, you've lost. So this is the end of our lesson. I believe you enjoyed the class. I'll be standing by for any questions you may have. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.